I think we're live. I think we're live. Welcome to Ninja Monkey, everyone. I'm Nathan, and for those of you who are new here or watching in the rewatch, then this is my Sunday stream where I try to answer your Japan travel questions, as the title states. I travel to Japan multiple times a year as a tourist, basically. And I've explored all the prefectures of Japan, and there's always so much more to see, so much more to do, so much more in Japan. And so many questions are asked pretty much every day. I get comments on my videos, I get messages, etc, etc, etc. So this is a great place for me to try to answer. If I have the answer, I'll answer, and if I don't, then I'll try to jot it down and make a point of learning and answering the question. Other than that, we have a great community, and there's various ways that you can actually help out. You can help out by supporting with super chats, supporting with memberships, supporting via Patreon, and so much more. In fact, I've just noticed that I have the support wall is still up from last week, from last time. And I'm changing that. So yeah, everyone, welcome. Just wanna see what's going on. Hey, you were born ready. Thank you, Gerald, for being born ready. By the way, I'm set up a little bit differently. I'm on a different computer, and I have my live chat here, so hopefully it will mean that I can keep on top of things a little bit easier. But before I do that, I think I need to open up my studio and check that everyone can hear me, that everyone can see me, and that the music isn't too loud. I think it's fine from what I can see. Hey all, can't stay long, back in Australia and back to the drawing board. Yeah, well, this is what the stream is about. A lot of people basically planning or starting to plan their trips to Japan. Any questions regarding traveling? This is it. Perfect. Bojo Pigeon, how are you doing? By the way, I do have my Coke Zero at the ready, and I actually have no. And I actually have one of my favorite snacks, these Kalbi snacks, and also these Cheezer snacks. If you haven't tried these Cheezer snacks in Japan, highly freaking recommend it. It's the bomb, I swear. So yeah, hey Tommy Tran, Jesse is here also, and I got the same shirt, donkey shirt. You know that now they have like a version of Donkey, and I don't know if they're slowly transitioning into a different Donkey like mascot, because this Donkey mascot has like a Santa hat. But very recently, once I've been in Japan, I've seen, because of the collaboration with Bruno Mars, there seems to be to get rid of those gestures that annoy me. How do I get rid of the gestures? Okay, reactions are off. But yeah. So there's now like a version of this with a Bruno Mars sort of afro, and I don't know if that's a permanent thing or not a permanent thing, but we'll see. Hey Grant, how are you doing? Very quiet in the chat, on the chat front right now. From what I can see, very quiet in the chats. Came back Wednesday night and I already missed Japan. At least the vacation ended with a bang. I leave the rest to your imagination. What's up, Mina-san? What's up, JJI? Thanks for being here and being a mod today. Eric V, dude, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Thanks for being here today also. Good morning from Hiroshima. Awesome. You know, Hiroshima is one of my favorite, well, I wouldn't say it's one of my favorite cities, but it's definitely a city, one of my favorite prefectures, I would say, in terms of so much to do, so much to see. It's a very beautiful prefecture. A lot of people don't go, and it's definitely worth checking out. The city itself is a pretty awesome city too, I must say. And obviously there's the whole okonomiyaki. Yes, these are intensely cheesy, and this is my last packet. But I promised myself that I'm gonna. I don't do diets. I don't really need to do dieting, but I promise I'm gonna try and be a little bit more healthy from now to Christmas. So, I'm. Do you guys also like binge eat everything that you have before you start going healthy? Honest opinion after your last video, is Nagoya worth it for a first-time traveler or more for a second or third trip type of destination? I said it actually in the video. In the video I actually mentioned that I think that Nagoya is not a first-time sort of destination. I actually mentioned it in the video. But that's not to say that different people don't have different wants and desires and things that they want to do in Japan. For me personally, Nagoya is a city that surprised me. It had this reputation of being boring. I can see how it can be perceived as a boring city compared to other cities in Japan easily. A lot of the things that Nagoya has, a lot of the other cities also have. Plus, those cities also have all the historical shrines and temples and UNESCO heritage sites, etc. So Nagoya doesn't have that going for them. But what Nagoya does have going for them is that they seem to be a city that is very much like an events central, like events tourism sort of city. So it's very big. There's lots of events always going on in Nagoya. The sumo is a very big part of the Nagoyan identity around July, when it happens in July. And it's a pretty cool time to go in July. You'll see sumo wrestlers walking down the street, walking around the castle grounds. It was pretty fun sitting in a cafe, getting myself a baked good. There was a sumo wrestler in front of me, and I had a little bit of a chat with him. Now, like I said, it all depends on what your trip is, what you expect from your trip, and what you want from your trip, because Nagoya is actually very well located for getting around certain areas of Japan. So it might be worth it. And also, if you're going to be going to the Ghibli Park, then definitely stay in Nagoya. I wouldn't say don't stay in Nagoya. If you're gonna be doing one of the things around Nagoya, you know. No Snorlax in the background, not today, because I've changed the camera around and all the plushies are up there, and I'm not very sure how I'm gonna if this is gonna be a permanent thing or not. We'll see. I also like cheese mochi, which I have only seen at small shops in Sugamo and Yanaka Ginza. Cheese mochi. You know what? Whenever I have like fried mochi or deep fried mochi, it always reminds me of cheese. I'm thinking of making a day trip to Odawara. Is the castle area worth the time on the train? I feel that the castle is very picturesque. I think the castle is actually a very beautiful castle. It surprised me more than I expected. However, if you're into like getting pictures of walking around the castle grounds and getting pictures of a castle, then definitely that's the castle for you. Inside, however, I was very disappointed because it really is like a modern museum with modern infrastructure. It's more like an office building inside of the castle. So that was a little bit of a bummer, but I think that the castle itself is very picturesque. It's very beautiful, and it's worth visiting just for the grounds. Don't forget that there are other things nearby to visit, and you can always stop off on the way to or from, you know. I don't know, I think there's something, my chat is a bit weird today. It's not refreshing, so I have to refresh it myself, and then I lose where I am. Hey Twitter Cliff Dog, how are you doing? How's everything in New Zealand? What time is it there now? It must be like really early in the morning, I'm guessing. You found some pajamas in Donkey. You'll send me a picture later. I'll check it after the stream. Would I agree to avoid Kansai between April and October? Well, no, I wouldn't, because between April and October is a very large chunk of time, to be honest. However, if you've already done Kansai and you don't need to do it, then maybe it's worth going elsewhere. Like, there's so many other prefectures and areas in Japan to explore. I'm not very sure what I'm going to be doing in terms of the expo yet. It's something that I've thought about going to. I'm not too interested in doing, and I'm still exploring whether or not it's going to fit in with my plans, to be honest. Is there a video in the expo? Is it something that realistically would be beneficial to the channel? I'm not too sure. I think it's going to be very reported a lot on YouTube. There's going to be a lot of expo content. Jesse, awesome. Thanks for all the content, Nathan. Thanks so much, Jesse, for being a member for 24 months. That's pretty cool, dude. Very cool. Very awesome. Kanazawa, Blackburn is an awesome city who actually is very tourist positive. I find that you know, places like even Kyoto, Osaka, you know, they complain about the tourists, but I think Kanazawa is embracing the whole tourism thing. Le Père, hi, how do you have so many Japanese friends? It's a question I ask myself every single day. How do I have so many Japanese friends? I don't know, maybe it's my charming personality. I think it helps when you actually visit Japan multiple times a year, and when you're pretty much going to Japan every other month or every 3 months. When it comes to, you know, striking relationships and being friends, becoming friends with people, I think that the number one thing is contact, and it's a two-way thing. You need to keep the conversation going. I'm very good at that. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm very good at keeping in contact with people. I check in with people quite often. Sometimes, you know, I'm at the back of my mind, I'm thinking of someone, and I'll just send them a message. Hey, thinking of you, you know, how are you? That's just the way that I am. And in terms of making Japanese friends, it's difficult. It ain't an easy feat. However, like I mentioned, I don't think you can really make Japanese friends very easily just going to Japan once or twice. You only strike those relationships with people by repeat visiting, and I very often will send a message saying, hey, I'm back in Japan in a few weeks time, let's meet up, you know. And by this point it'll be the 4th, the 5th, the 6th time, and yeah, so that's how I have so many Japanese friends. A lot of them are actually YouTube related. A very recently, last trip, I made friends. I guess I made friends with Takashi, thanks to Vicente, who introduced me. I wasn't even expecting him to be there, to be honest, but lovely guy. And yeah, Japan loves Kanazawa, and he was there last week. And yes, I agree, Kanazawa is a great city. Great city. Japan Jesse, always 1 month ahead. Hey, do you have a second channel? I do have a second channel. It's called The Happy Gaijin. You can check it out. I don't actually have any of the info stuff on this computer that I'm using today. 23 months. Wow. Big Al, how you doing, Big Al? I don't know. The castle was cool, but I also loved Balloon Street in Odawara. They have lots of balloons high over the street, and they seem to change seasonally. I didn't even notice. I didn't even notice that. Japanese cheese is mid at best as a European. I agree. I think Japanese cheese is a little bit meh. But this, however, is on another level, and I'm going to open it. Talking about cheese, because this is like really fake strong cheese. But hey, it looks like this, for those of you who don't know. And it tastes like burnt cheese. I don't know if that makes any sense. Hey Nick J, how you doing? Thanks for making it finally at last. 100% banana accessory. I agree. Is it worth visiting Tokyo for 3 nights in early December? It's always worth visiting Tokyo for 3 nights any time of the year, to be honest. For sure. Any January Kamakura advice? Yeah, actually, I would say Kamakura. You know, there's many temples and many shrines in Kamakura, and it depends when you're going to go in January. But just the first few days, probably the first, the second, the third, maybe even the fourth, will be very, very busy with pilgrims, I guess, going to do the New Year's, you know, like fortunes at the very beginning of the year. So, and I mean, it's still worth checking out and seeing the locals doing the thing. There's actually a little bit of like of a festive sort of atmosphere going on in around the temples. Some smaller places, mum and pop shops, etc., might be closed around that time, but generally temples are full of life with stalls selling food, drink, etc. Apart from that, I would say that January is a cold month, so wrap up warm, and Kamakura is a great place to check out. So nothing other than that. I'm still surprised that places in Japan I visit once a year recognize me when I visit. It really makes you feel welcome. Yeah, I mean, I'm working on a video that I filmed. It's going to be a little bit of a different type of video, to be honest, because it's very much a front head shot, walking through the street talking video, where I just give my opinion on things, you know. And the topic is solo travel. And one of the things that I mentioned is that, yeah, you know, sometimes people who travel solo can feel lonely. And I think that I've got to the point that I don't think, I maybe a few times felt a little bit lonely, but it hasn't been a big issue. And now I've got to the point that I have friends there, and I have some friends there that I consider family nearly, you know. So I don't think I feel lonely because of that. I'm very lucky. And YouTube also like connects me with people. However, one of the tips that I say is that it's always good to return to the same establishment, the same izakaya, the same bar, the same restaurant often, if you're staying in the same area, because it's eventually you'll become a familiar friend, a familiar face for that person or for that establishment. And there's nothing, you know, you might not make the best friend in the world, but it's always nice to see a familiar face when you're feeling a little bit lonely. If you live in New Zealand, Australia, or Singapore, it is worth checking flights to Nagoya. Actually, they are sometimes cheaper than Tokyo, and with the Shinkansen, you can actually get to Tokyo as fast as Narita. You know what? You have a very, very good point there, because Twitter Cliffy. I just realized, and I hadn't actually thought of this, that I can actually fly with Finnair to Nagoya via obviously Helsinki. They have direct flights to Nagoya, and when I was looking at the prices, they were like a good $200 cheaper than flying directly into Tokyo. And that made me think, you know, maybe in the future I have another option. Not only does it open up the possibility of getting potentially cheaper flights, but also it might open up the possibility of different time for flights. Sometimes those Helsinki flights are so short, the layover are 1.5 hours, 1 hour and 15 minutes, 1 hour 20 minutes, which which is a little bit too short for my comfort level anyway. Maybe flying to Nagoya might give me a little bit more time. So I'm always open to checking things out and checking different options out. But you're right there. Twitter, 9:45 a.m. already. Oh, it's a lot later than I expected it to be, actually. 95 days to my third Japan trip. The wait feels so long, but then when you're there, it will be over before you know it. Thank you for the second channel. By the way, I wanted to mention, and I mention this often, Japan has a very, very, very successful Facebook page. Please check him out. Please support him. Let's see. You think Expo will increase prices for tourists overall? Yes, probably. Or you think people won't flock to Japan specifically because of Expo 25, so it will be the same? I think that a lot of people don't even know that there's an Expo going on in Japan, to be honest. I think that a lot of people are completely oblivious to the fact that there's an Expo going on. However, I think that the area surrounding the Expo will definitely see an increase in prices, especially in hotels. So definitely there will be an effect. It's only logical, you know. Right, let's see. "10 days to go for your first trip. Can't wait. First trip, that is awesome. Please, please, please take it all in. Enjoy every single moment, because your first trip is a very special one. Very, very special one. By the way, who here is interested in going to the Expo? Anybody actually got tickets and going to the Expo? Well, let me know, because like I said, I'm not very sure. I haven't decided what my summer plans are gonna be. Just be careful on the Nagoya prediction. It takes an hour to get to Nagoya station from the airport, then 1.5 hours to Tokyo on Shinkansen, quite a bit slower than getting the next or limo bus, etc. Definitely. I mean, like I mentioned, for me it will be a case of probably I would stay in Nagoya night or I would travel somewhere else, you know. If that was the case, I probably wouldn't end up going straight to Tokyo. It would be a great opportunity potentially to head to Osaka or Kyoto, but you're right, you're absolutely right. For me it's a case of, if the flight's cheaper, is it worth it, you know? And if the times are better, you know, then why not? Just booked your second trip yesterday, less than 2 months. Awesome. Mike T. I think we're all here living on the promise of our next trip. I think I'll be there in about 6 weeks time ish. Hey, Japan, you watched my video? That maglev museum blew me away. I was super impressed by it. I wasn't expecting it to be, firstly, as big as it was, secondly, with so many interactive exhibits as it had, and thirdly, just awesome all around. I mean, there was the maglev train, series train that you could actually go in and you know, see what it would be like. There are interactive things that you can actually see how maglev works. Apart from that, there's a freaking Dr. Yellow inside of the museum that you can walk through and see what the insides of Dr. Yellow. It was just, yeah. I didn't give myself enough time. I gave myself an hour. I needed double. I ended up rushing through that museum, and I'm pretty sure that I missed things. I'm pretty sure that I missed things out. But that's going to be one of the best museums I've been to in Japan, in terms of like interest and uniqueness, you know. And that's one of the things that Japan does so well. Japan is so hyper focused when they come to specific niche things, like a maglev museum, a ninja museum, a cup noodle museum. Le Pere says, about the alternative airports, are you talking about international flights? I thought there was only Haneda, Narita, and Kansai as an option. I'm talking about international flights. Finn Air fly directly to Nagoya, which is pretty cool. Eric V, are a lot of travel discounts exclusive to those with on vacation? Are there discounts for those on a student visa? I've heard it can be specific to where in Japan, but not confirmed. And what travel discounts are you referring to, though, Eric V? Eric V, another museum added to the list. Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned, I think Nagoya, there are other train museums around Japan, and I haven't visited them all. And I do feel that Nagoya, that there are other cities that have the same things that Nagoya have. The one thing that did surprise me about Nagoya, you probably noticed that a good 20% of the video is of food, and yeah, the food in Nagoya was surprisingly good. And I mean in the type of food that I like. I love Japanese food, but I can sometimes be a little bit of a picky eater, even though many times you see me eating wholesome random things. Usually they're presented in front of me and I end up eating them just so that I'm not rude. But yeah, Nagoya had the best chicken wings I've ever had. And then that like rice bowl with tempura shrimp in the inside was like super divine. And the tonkatsu with the miso, the miso tonkatsu was another level. And those are some of my favorite things in the world. So question, any difficulties getting tickets for Maglev Park in Nagoya? No. And that's the beauty of Nagoya. The beauty of Nagoya is that there aren't too many tourists. And it was a welcome change to being in a city with pretty much no tourists. And the Maglev Museum was, I would say, quite empty also. And the majority of the people visiting were actually Japanese. So some international airlines fly to Naha Airport in Okinawa too. Yep. Could be an option with cheap connecting flights to Osaka, Tokyo. Maybe. Fly to Naha, spend a few days in Naha, then fly to Tokyo. Sounds like a perfect trip to me. I never feel lonely when I solo travel. Often I'm too busy to think about it. Yeah, that's one of the things. I agree with you 100%. I think that also because I'm creating content. I'm not creating content all the time, but because I am usually like on my phone answering a comment or trying to plan a video or coordinating something, and that keeps me even more busy. Yeah. What plans do you have when you're going next? Okay, Mike T. I'm going to be in Japan over the New Year's period. The New Year's period is an interesting time, and I really like it a lot because New Year's in Japan is a family time, which means that a lot of my Japanese friends, and in fact a lot of my friends that live in Japan, are busy. And don't get me wrong, I love hanging out with my friends, but this is a time that forces me to take time for myself. And obviously I do end up hanging out with some friends here and there, but the fact that they're so busy with family commitments really means that I get time to not worry about, not that I worry, but not feel that I'm not meeting up with somebody because they can't meet up with me. So I'm going to be there in New Year's. I'm looking forward to it very much. I think winter in Japan is a great time to go. I think New Year's in Japan is a fantastic time to visit Japan if it's not your first trip. Although I've always said this, it's better to go to Japan when you can go to Japan than not go to Japan. Students with student visas can't buy a JR pass, for example. Yes, that's right. If you don't have a short stay visa, or a tourist visa, you can't get a JR pass and you can't get tax-free either. In fact, if you extend, like for example, British citizens can extend from the 3 months, they can extend it to 6 months. If you do that, you will no longer be considered a short time visitor, and you won't be able to get access to the JR pass or the tax-free. Has anyone been to Haruka's Freehand Observatory in Osaka? Have I been to Haruka's Freehand? I don't think so. What is? I need to check it out. Oh, wait a minute. I have been. I went there like quite a while back, and it's a pretty cool building. It's very, very modern, and it's worth it, I would say. Yeah. All right. Hey, the Red Value, how you doing? What were your thoughts on my Nagoya video? The Railway Museum in Saitama, Omiya, is great, very large and well thought out. So yeah, there's so many rail museums. Now now that I've experienced one, I feel like I want to do a few more. I literally just went there. Awesome. Thanks for deciphering, JJ. I had heard about the JR Pass, but wasn't sure if it applies to more. Yeah, I wasn't sure what your question was before earlier on, Eric V. But yeah, the JR Pass and tax-free shopping is only available for short-time tourists, people with which are there on a short-time tourist visa. The diorama was breathtaking. Not overscheduling or overplanning is one thing you learn after visiting a few times. Yeah, it's difficult to do. The beauty of having friends in Japan is that you have friends in Japan, but the other side is that you always end up having somebody to meet, and it means that you end up quite busy. Not complaining, huh? I see some figures in the background. What do you think of Gachapon? Actually, these figures, these babies, these are actually from a restaurant, one of my favorite restaurants in Tokyo, in Shinjuku, called Teppen Baby. They do Hiroshima style okonomiyaki, and they use these as chopstick holders, and you can purchase them, and every time when I go, I get one because I want to use them. I've got another one here also. I'm going to add it to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm pretty sure I've got one more. But every time I go, I get myself one of those little babies because I want to also use them as a chopstick holders. If I ever throw some kind of a party, it would be quite fun to use them as chopstick holders. I think anyway. Yeah, and then this is not from Gachapon. This I bought from Nakano Broadway, actually. Ooh, it's a piggy bank, and it used to have a plate. It still has a plate. It just keeps on falling off. It's holding a plate. It's pretty cool. It's got money inside. I didn't realize it had money inside. What money does it have inside? Will this pay for my next trip to Japan? I wonder. Can I even open it? Oh, I'm not gonna play with that. And then this is the Lego. What? Oh my goodness. Oh, it's not even yen. It's British pounds. I've lost a few babies there. I've lost my babies. Oh, oh yeah, and obviously I have. You can't see. I'm gonna move it here because it was a gift from Japan. Mini version of this, and where is it? It's fallen. Oh, let me get my babies back. And where have I put it? I have a little. Oh yeah, I got this from a gachapon actually. It's a Tokyo banana. I didn't get any Tokyo bananas this trip, but yeah. What do I think of gachapon? I think gachapon are awesome. They're fun, but they can also be a bank breaker. Go with a budget. There's a few rules around those passes. Certainly best to double check. Indeed, you need to double check for sure. Shouldn't No Face have a dish? Yes, I don't know what the dish is, to be honest, but yeah, you're right. I missed visiting Nakano Broadway last trip. One of many destinations that fell down the list, that goes on the list for the next travel trip. And Nakano Broadway is interesting. It's not what I expected it to be. It's really interesting in terms of the stores, the little shops. They're very much like hobbyist stores and retro stores and that kind of thing. Secondhand stores, which I really enjoyed. However, I thought initially when I first went to Nakano Broadway, I thought it was going to be more like an open air sort of place, but it's actually more like a mall, like a long shotengai. It's quite fun there, Bojo. Mandrakes has kind of taken over though. Osachi traditional New Year food looks good, but the taste not so much. It's old-fashioned Heian period foods. Hey banana and banana necessity, that sounded like Tawada for some reason. KFC. Although I don't think KFC in Japan is that great either. You see, I think I might have started my live stream a little bit early. Should have been started now, to be honest. But I'm not. This is gonna sound crazy, but I'm not over my freaking jet lag. I've been waking up at 5:30 in the morning every single morning. It's not normal. I'm just really bad when it comes to jet lag on the way back. Japan. Ichiban, thank you. They're awesome, aren't they? Let me add you to the list. Hey. Thanks, dude. And I think that I should be able to. Yay! Arigatou gozaimasu. Thanks for that little support. Hey Saika, how you doing? Struggling with jet lag and sick, late to the party. I swear, I'm just a terrible jet lag person. I suck. I mean, anybody would think I don't do this often, you know? It's crazy. By the way, Saika, we need to organize that little chat So Saika actually came to the meetup that we had in Tokyo, what, just over a week ago now. Unfortunately, I planned it not very well. I should have planned it a little bit better. I didn't realize that they were going to be so strict with her kids. So I feel like I'm the one that missed out. KFC in Japan tastes so different to KFC in Australia. I would say it does taste cleaner, but I'm used to the classic dirty. That's it. You're right. I prefer the dirty, dirty KFC. I was exactly the same, Mojo. Hadn't been for 9 years. Made it my business to go there this year. I know they had a great time. UK KFC is inconsistent. Most are bad, but some are okay. Same here. My conversational Japanese level sucks. I'm gonna be totally honest. I think I'm pretty much given up on Japanese, not because I'm not interested, but just because I don't have time. It's I've had this conversation with Alan a few times, Japan, and it's a little bit like I can either run a YouTube channel or study Japanese whilst at the same time having a full-time job. I cannot do both. It's impossible. I mean, I'm working on a family-friendly Japan video, and you know, I'm spending an hour a day on that at least. So I would not have time to study. Or if I did have time to study, I wouldn't have a life outside of YouTube, you know? And I do have friends, and I do like to have fun outside of YouTube and work. But I'd love to learn Japanese. I don't think, unless I one day decide to go like to Japanese school in Japan, like over the summer period or something. Otsukaijima desu. It was totally fine. It was great meeting you and some of the crew, but it was so short. We did have a great time. I knew you did. I hope you all had a great time too. We did. We had a great time. It would have been better with you guys though. I felt like, eh. Met Cola is peak cola, but might break the Coke addiction. I always find it fascinating that, and I don't understand this, because the drinking part is here, and the logo is in front of the drinking part, right? Which means that when you're drinking and you're holding it, like I'm doing it now, don't you think that the Coca-Cola should be here so that when you're drinking, people can see what you're drinking? Like, I don't know. I managed pretty well with communication last time in Japan. The only tricky situation was a place where I had to agree to a full page of Japanese text. They handed me up front. What was the text? Ian, woo, being super early with it, but just booked the flight for Japan in October next year. Wow, that is really early, but well done. Well done. Did you get a good price? Are you happy with it, with what you paid? I got myself. This is my last cheese. What a lovely hotel. A love hotel. I prefer this time. I wouldn't be able to watch it if it was too late. This, I need to go to bed by 10:30 a.m. What? I really don't know how you do it, man. These are addictive. Very addictive. I don't even know what type of cheese it's supposed to be. Hey Jim! Jim made it to the party. Yay! And it's finally winter in Jim's world. He was telling me that he had his first snow. No, last night, yesterday. Here is freaking still very hot. It's not normal. I'm being in short and t-shirts still. It's like 23 degrees. Yesterday I was on the beach. No, I wasn't swimming, but I was on the beach yesterday. I cringe every time I think back on when someone talks to me in Japanese. I just freeze up for a bit. I stutter until I manage to pull out my phone for Google Translate. Tommy Chuan, don't worry about it. Everyone does it at one point, right? What's my favorite convenience snack? I might keep this for tomorrow. Got a decent price on the flights. Figured I'd take it now in case the travel down in Iran gets worse. Pushes fuel prices up. Let's hope not. Where are you from? Francequito. Where do you think I'm from? Francequito. Where are you from, Francequito? That's the question. Where are you from? Out of curiosity. I didn't actually purchase a lot on my trip. This trip, to be honest, I should have. But yeah. Maxi Bon. Hey Jibbo. ¿Qué pasa, tía? ¿Qué pasa, brother? Hi, I'm from Jib, going to Japan next year in October. Love all of your videos, great advice. Have you been to Mount Takao? Thinking of doing a day trip from Tokyo. Maxi Bon, my neighbor, probably down the road. I'm here in Gibraltar also. But I was gonna go to Mount Takao this trip, and it was pissing down the 2 days that I had earmarked, like to go to Mount Takao, so I didn't go. However, I know a lot of people that go and do that trek, and Mount Takao is supposed to be an easy trek. What time of the year are you going? I guess it all depends what time of the year you're going to be going to Japan, really. October. Next October. Oh, we've got loads of time. October is going to be a brilliant time to go. By the way, in terms of the autumn foliage and the autumn colors in Japan, and I don't know if Japanese Japan will be able to, or anybody else who's just come from there recently, like Saika, who's just come from there, will agree with me in that the foliage colors were just about starting, in the sense that there was this odd tree here and an odd tree here, an odd tree there, with the colors, with the fall colors or the autumn colors. However, I wouldn't say that it was the whole full on blown like autumn leaves colors that people want, you know. What were your experiences with the autumn colors outside of Tokyo? Even in higher elevations, I don't think that they're quite there yet. I'm gonna guess another week or two. Yeah, obviously, if you need any direct information, let me know. I'm happy to give you some information. Hey, Jim Ross, thank you so much for gifting 5 Ninja Monkey memberships. Let me add that to the list. Awesome. I missed that for a minute. Much appreciated, and I know how much you love the I know how much you love your monkey. The monkey and arigatou gozaimasu. Sorry was gone for a while, so Nagoya is so much more awesome than can easily be explained with a few things to do. Like many places. Ingo UK. Funny question. Anyone know a place in Akiba where you can buy laptops with non-Japanese keyboards, aka US or UK keyboards? I don't want to take my work laptop with me. I don't know. That's a very, very good question, actually. The reason it's awesome is because it is an excellent place to live, and the very central position in Japan to visit other places. I agree with that. The location is pretty sweet. It's pretty sweet. Hey Saika, thank you so much. We shall meet again, because I know that you've got the Japan bug. You know, hopefully not the Japan bug in terms of like feeling sick, but in terms of like you want to go back to Japan as quickly as you can. It's very easy. Very, very easy. That's why we're here. All here, like sort of like arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you so much. And obviously it's confusing. I've got two trackpads. I'm controlling the one thing on one and wait, what was that? Ah, there you go. Arigato. Google Translate is definitely a lifesaver. Oh my god, I went to Katsoju Temple and it was pissing down so bad that we got soaked from head to toe. Literally had to wring out our clothing, buy t-shirts, and wow, wow. Guys, did you already share when you're headed back to Japan? Now, I am heading back to Japan in about 6 weeks' time. I'll be there for New Year's period, just after Christmas, and I'll be there for about 12 days I think it is in total. Hey, explore the world. Hi, watching from Puerto Rico, and I'm 10 days away from my dream trip to Japan and I'm starting to get nervous. Don't get nervous. Never been to an international trip, so I'm freaking out. Explore the world is going to be a fantastic trip. It's going to be experience after experience. You have nothing to worry about. So everything has a solution, and hopefully this community here and my videos will put you at ease. Out of curiosity, everyone who's watching, which out of all of my videos, which is the one that you find the most useful, or the one that you find most interesting? Nagoya was relatively cheap rents and other living costs, as well as solid industry and well-paying jobs. I don't think I'd ever want to live in Nagoya, I'm going to be honest. Unless I marry someone from Nagoya. I was watching Dayan Yuka's stream last night and he gave me an impromptu live demonstration of what? I missed something. I will come around to making an essay on Nagoya to showcase why it is so great. Am I planning any meetups next time? I won't be planning any meetups for a while now, to be honest. There will be meetups, obviously, in the future, but not in my next trip. Phone is not compatible with eSIM, so you're getting a pocket Wi-Fi. That's absolutely fine. Works great. Used it many times. Zoom! How are you doing? Great to see you too. Hey Japan and Japan, how was your eSIM and how much data did you end up using? Because you got a hell of a lot of data. Francisquito is going on Wednesday for 8 days. First international solo trip ever. It's going to be amazing. 8 days. It's fine. Fine. What are you doing? What's your plan? Where are you going? How long are you going for? On the 12th day of New Year's, Ninja Monkey gave to me. Armadoanian, Japan is so easy to be a tourist. Just remember to follow the local customs. Go with the flow. Agree. Look around you, see what people are doing, see how people are acting, and you know, go according to that, I'd say. Your videos have been super helpful. I lost count how many I've seen for over a year in preparation for the trip. I'm glad, and there's more, there's always more. I'm always thinking, I'm always updating, and the Sam that I did 2 years ago that I'm thinking I want to redo and do better and update, you know. Actually, the Yokocho Ginza local shopping district videos changed how I visit Tokyo. I always search for new local shopping districts to visit now. Awesome. You know, I'm working on a part 2 of that video. I just didn't quite finish everything that I wanted to film when I was in Japan this last time, because like I said, it did rain a little bit. Then there was Halloween in the middle, and that took up way too much of my time. I'm doing it a completely different way next time I'm in Japan for Halloween. It cannot be a priority. Halloween cannot be a priority for me in the future. It's just not worth it. Most of the stores have US spec mechanical keyboards. You can get a used laptop and buy them made in Japan. Oh, that's Banana Necessary has a good point. You could always get yourself or take with you a USA keyboard to plug into a laptop. Oh, Daniel gave the monkey impression. Awesome. Going to Tokyo for 10 nights in 25 days. Cheap Uniqlo shopping. Yeah, Uniqlo in Japan is so much cheaper than in the UK anyway. Your 7-day itinerary video was great. The framework for building my itinerary. Thank you. No problem. You know, I've said this many times. A lot of my friends, when they're planning to go to Japan, I say to them, you know, watch my 2-week itinerary, watch my 7-day itinerary, and you know, adjust it accordingly. Some of my friends who travel for 3 weeks, they've used a 2-week itinerary, which is quite action-packed, and they've spread it to fit into 3 weeks, or they've spread it by adding more time in Tokyo. 50 gigabytes. Wow, that's still quite a bit though. Yeah, Goo is the sister shop of Uniqlo, and I think their style is a little bit cooler in a way. Yeah, by the way, I do have an affiliate link with Sakura Mobile. Helps the channel a hell of a lot. It's a great product. Works very well. I use it all the time. I vouch for them, and yeah. So if you want to support me that way, you can do it. You can always head over to www.ninjasaddles.com or ninjamonkey.org, and there'll be a link there. Tawada came in with a bang. I think Halloween is city celebration in Japan. People should just do, or bon. I think that not everyone has the same likes and hobbies. You see, this is an interesting thing. I read an article by the Japan Times, I think it was, and basically it said that fewer Halloween revelers visited Shibuya and Shinjuku due to stricter regulations. But then it said the number of people in Shibuya Center was slightly higher than last year, with most being foreigners. No, bullcrap. No way were most foreigners. 70% were Japanese or Asian, and 30% were foreigners. There is no freaking way that the majority, most being foreigners. Fake news. I was there for 2 nights, and I can tell you, and if you look at my video, you'll see that the majority of the freaking costumes that I take video of are actually Japanese people. Very few were actually like Westerners. So that really pisses me off when an article from the Japan Times, I think it was, makes a statement like that, and I know that it's not true. Anyway, hey Tawada. Do you use a VPN when booking accommodation and flights? Have you heard of anyone using a VPN set to Japan to get cheaper rates on accommodation? Abdo, I know a lot of people do, and I've tried in the past to do it myself. I've actually tried to get cheaper flights and accommodation. I've never actually made it like affordable enough for it to be anything like groundbreaking. If I've ever gained any money, it's always been like very like minimal amount of savings. The yen is quite nice for UK at the moment to do some more shopping. Yeah. How much cash should I have on me? Usually I have only 10,000 yen in my wallet, but that's because I know how to navigate and how to use things. A lot of places do actually take card, and I mentioned this many times about using Revolut or Wise as a currency card. That helps a lot. And then if you need any cash, you can always get cash out from 7-Eleven ATMs at either no fees or very low fees. If you have a iPhone, then I highly recommend that you get digital Suica, because you'll be able to top up your digital Suica with your bank card and then pay. 1 week left before I go to Japan for the first time. You know what? I should change the name of the stream to "When are you going to Japan?" When are you going to Japan next? That's awesome. Fruit snack sim. Exciting. Where are you going? Don't just tell me 1 week left. You got to tell me details. Where you're going, what you're going to be doing, what you're looking forward to. You didn't buy any? What? Shimokitazawa has become a new favorite spot for you. I see. Is it unusual? It is, but it's cool, and I think you're doing the right thing by doing that. When booking a hotel room online, selecting room with view option, is it best to ask when checking in for a specific view direction, or is that considered rude instead of the assigned room? No. Why? Of course it wouldn't be considered rude. A hotel is a hotel, and you're paying for a service and you're paying for a room. So there's nothing stopping you from asking. A lot of hotels, when they say, a lot of hotels will specifically say Tokyo Tower view when you book, but Usually, there's no problem asking. Hey, Jennifer's in the house. How you doing, Jenny? Hey, check out. Do you see what I have there in the hanging there behind me? Nature with Peter Kane. I have thought about moving to Japan many times, and many times I've come to the conclusion that at the moment it's not a place where I want to live. My situation at the moment does not make me want to live in Japan. I think I have a good balance of being able to visit quite often, and therefore there's no need for me to live in Japan. I wish I could go for longer periods of time, but I have thought about it. At the moment, it ain't gonna happen. A lot of things would have to happen for me to move to Japan. On the VPN, I've had the same experience. It only made a very small saving. I don't travel to Ginza. Oh yeah, the Ginza Uniqlo. Did somebody mention the Ginza Uniqlo? Question. Oh yeah, don't forget. Question. This is ask me questions. Are you most likely to get the better hotel room if you book shorter stays or longer stays? I don't think it makes much of a difference. I think you'll get the better hotel room if you pay more for the hotel room. It won't fit all in one message. A little bit of Japan. Ohayo gozaimasu. Gambate. A little bit of Japan, by the way. Anybody interested in doing any tours, specific tours in Osaka, in Kyoto, or in Nara? That's who I send my people to. And by my people, I mean you guys and my friends who travel to Japan. Whenever they're gonna go to Osaka or whatever, I say, hey, this guy is a great tour guide and he's a friend. So if you are interested, please check him out. November or December, most of it will probably be Tokyo again. Traveling Gabriel, how are you doing? Is Kamakura a day trip or spend multiple days there? Any good hotels there? I think a day trip is probably enough, to be honest, in Kamakura. But again, it's all up to choice. It's all up to what you want out of your trip. Digital Suica only works with Apple Pay via MasterCard. Visa card still can't top up reliably. I think I mentioned this a few times. I think it does depend on your country. I top up with all my cards with no issues. So generally, not too much of a problem. Additionally, if you do get something like a Revolut card, you can always create a virtual card, a virtual Apple Pay card, which can be a MasterCard. I know that Amex also works quite well. Tokyo for a little bit. Day trips with Kamakura, Enoshima. I love Enoshima, by the way. Quick stop in Toyama. A few days in Kanazawa. Then Nagano for the holiday. Then Hakodate, Sapporo, Otaru. Otaru's pretty cool. Wakanai, not been there yet before I get a plane to Matsue. Matsue is a pretty cool place. I like that area. That the area of Matsue is a pretty cool area. Good trip. Nathan, good morning. Hey, Daniel and Yuka, every single time I go on your on your live stream, you're ending. I swear, I promise you. I feel like now I've just jinxed it every single time. I go, hey guys, and you go, thank you for watching. Bye. Yeah, the Uniqlo in Ginza is pretty cool. Is it possible to survive in Japan if you don't like seafood and a very picky eater? Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm not a big fan of seafood, saying it, and I survive. Hey, do it yourself. I do not like the series Shogun very much. but my family has decided to go to Ito. Really? I'm also going to a lot of places for a short period of time, so I can just pick where to go on a future trip. I mean, that's one way of doing it. Living in Japan is not great. I'm delayed going back to stay. Saika says, Ninja Monkey Guy, you should have a banner or something somewhere saying next trip time frame is. So no one knows exactly when, but maybe a general timeline. I used to do that. I used to have a countdown timer. I just found it freaking difficult to keep up remembering to update it. Abdul says, you visit Japan multiple times a year. What keeps bringing you back aside from creating awesome videos for your channel? Multiple things. I think that there's a lot to re-explore. I feel that when I'm creating content, in a way, because I'm creating content, I only sort of like hit the surface of a location, and there's always the deeper levels. I mean, the more that I travel to Japan, the more that I understand the culture, the more that I understand things. And not only that, but as a traveler, I've changed a lot. I remember when I first traveled to Japan, the first maybe 2 times, I was not interested in castles. I was not interested in shrines or temples. And I remember actually there was a point where I was like, another temple? Seriously, another shrine? I'll just sit here on the bench and you know. But that's changed, you know. With knowledge and understanding comes appreciation, and I think I appreciate things very differently. And the reason why I return and I want to continue returning to Japan is because I appreciate things in a different way every single time that I return. They do have a very unhealthy obsession with gold leaf, as you've mentioned many times. You can get cheaper room rates if you don't mind staying in a smoking room. Banana necessary. I've never come across a cheaper smoking room personally, but maybe. But that's, I don't really look out for them, so. There is so much more than seafood. There's ramen, tempura, etc. Loads. Yep, he does Nara. Philippe is in Lisbon? Dude, you're getting closer to me. Getting closer. You need to come a little bit more south, dude. Hey, Philippe. You're always traveling also. Deer Park seems fun, but also I love the idea that they're rebuilding the ancient capital. Thanks for the shout out, Nathan. I appreciate it. I have a full day of tours today and tomorrow. I did Nara tour yesterday. The deer are amazing. I agree. Osaka relative always drags me back to Kyoto. Kyoto's really nice. Come on. How can you not like Kyoto, dude? TSB cards, debit and credit cards cannot top up Suica. What is a TSB card? Biggest problem, it gets your card blocked till you phone them up and block your card. So then in that case, I think the best thing to do is to try and get yourself a virtual card on your phone. You can actually create a virtual debit card and use that. Maybe Revolut or even Apple card. You can create an Apple card or an Apple Cash card. I hate seafood except for sushi. Does your seafood dislike include or exclude sushi? Interestingly, I'm very similar to you. I don't like all sushi, but I do like some sushi. My problem with fish specifically is the texture of the flakiness of the fish, and sushi being raw has a completely different texture. So you've got to wake up earlier like I do to watch your streams. Hey, I bet you that little baby Pikachu woke you up to watch my stream. But But also I'm working usually when you're streaming. I literally get back from work, I go on YouTube, I see that you're live, and then you like, bye. What's a good way to make friends? Local friends. Unfortunately, the only way to make local friends is by returning to the same place over and over and over and over again. Becoming a familiar face. Daniel and Yuka, yes, Jim Ross was hyping the monkey impression. Let me just do it because I think if you're here in the chat, I should do the monkey impression. Hey Chuck, how are you doing, Chuck? So I hate pretty much all seafood, but love sushi. I like seaweed though, I like nori. Yeah, high quality seaweed is pretty good. I'm glad you got it working though. Whoa. Hey, what's happened with my... Question. Hey Tony. Hi Nathan. Tokyo Tower. Oh, Tokyo Skytree. I'm not the best with heights, so which is the least scary? I'm visiting next March. I think they're both scary in different ways. On the one hand, you cannot see the Tokyo Tower from the Tokyo Tower, but the Tokyo Tower is kind of romantic and feels traditional, and yeah. Skytree, you could see the Tokyo Tower from the Skytree, although it's a little bit far away. Personally, I still think that Shibuya Sky is one of the better ones, or even if you want to get a good view of Tokyo Tower, you might want to do the Mori building in Roppongi. But personally, I just have Tokyo Tower just has a special place in my heart. I'm always going to choose the Tokyo Tower over the Skytree, but I do think that the Skytree gives you the better view of the city, if that makes any sense. Meetup is good for meeting people in Japan. You know, I've only had bad experiences with the app Meetup. A little bit of Japan. 2 times I think I tried to use it. 2 times I wasted my time. I don't know what happened. Tokyo Tower is definitely iconic, but the question is, are you looking out for the view, or are you looking out for the experience of the tower? You see. I don't think I've ever found smoking rooms to be priced lower than regular rooms at hotels. I've never really looked. That's the thing. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend. I actually never looked out for you know, if a smoking room will be cheap. The new, right? Well, when is it even going to be finished? Let me see. It looks very interesting. When will it be finished? (2027). I mean, yeah. another observation deck. I'm sure it will be quite amazing, you know. I do honestly think that Japan has like has an obsession with observation decks and ropeways. Yeah, Skytree is like a whole city in a tower. You have one reservation, the Tokyo Tower? By the way, guys, don't forget that if you are thinking of doing reserving stuff, you can use my affiliate link with Klook at no additional cost to you, and I'll get a little commission, and it will help me get back to Japan to make more content, basically. Traveling Gabriel, dude, for your next trip, have some good food for me till I get there. When are you getting there? Awesome. Thank you so much. Let me just monkey thanks that. Right. Come on. And I think that this one definitely deserves it. Arigatou gozaimasu. Much appreciated. Let me add you to my support wall. What? I typed it in the wrong keyboard. Ta-da! Awesome. Thanks, dude. Actually, I have now JJI. I should have told you, but apart from the link, that link with Klook on my website, if you go to www.ninjasaru.com/Klook, it will take you to my affiliate link. Have I missed any? I saved 120 on rooms for 22 nights using Expedia by just picking the smoking room. Really? There you go. You see, you know more than me. Although I don't know how I feel about sleeping in a smoking room. I've tried to sleep in a smoking room before, and it hasn't been fun. I guess that if you smoke, it's different, right? My question is about wheelchair access. Do you think I can venture outside Tokyo, as when I finally get to Japan, I want to explore as much as possible? Our restaurants usually upstairs. You know, I think that when it comes to wheelchair access, like anything, you need to plan the fact that you're gonna need wheelchair access. That includes the stations that you use, and also contacting hotels in advance to make sure that your room is accessible, etc. When it comes to traveling outside of Tokyo, there shouldn't be much of a problem. Getting in contact with the train staff, they will make sure that they'll get you on the train. I've seen it happen plenty of times when I'm in Japan. And when it comes to restaurants, etc., a lot of restaurants have elevators that literally go straight into the restaurant if they're up above. Like anything, if you ever need to, you can always use a concierge or ask at your hotel lobby, the receptionist, for them to make a booking for you. That might be a good way of going about things. Hey Tommy, thanks dude for being here. For me, there was no problem. I met up with people for sports and hiking and made new friends. Maybe I just had bad luck. Or maybe they saw me and they ran away. Skytree is pretty easy to get to. I don't think Tokyo Tower is difficult to get to either. You just have to walk a little bit more, probably. Hakone, Kanazawa, Takayama, Matsumoto. Any ryokan recommendations in these areas? I can probably bombard you with questions from now to next year. Please bombard me. And if you want to meet up, let me know. Send me a message. But I've stayed in some ryokans in Takayama and in Matsumoto, but I can't remember off the top of my head. I think there's just so many ryokans. Hokkaido and Tokyo. Land in Haneda and go to a ryokan for a couple of days to get over jet lag in relax mode. That sounds like a good plan, actually. Yeah. Most train stations do have elevators, but they may not always be as conveniently positioned. Indeed. That's why I think when it comes to these things, we need to plan in advance, like plan and do a little bit of research, which you're doing now, which is great. Hey, Nick J, thank you so much. Let me just... Thank you, Nick. Nick J. No question attached. Thanks, dude. Arigatou gozaimasu. Family Mart, 7-Eleven, or Lawson's. To be honest, I don't have a preference. Whichever's closest. It would usually be between a 7-Eleven or a Family Mart, like equally. Have I missed any chats? Because I'm just... Meetup tech groups are friendly and many are hard drinkers. Tokyo 2600 is a lot of fun for people into computer security. I like the Dragon Quest Lawson in Denden. I haven't been there. Oh, it was a Uniqlo. Oh. Daily. Yamazaki or Yamazaki Y Shop? Neither. Although I was having this conversation with Vicente. I actually just posted a short about tattoos. That's Vicente. Basically, I was saying how even like we don't have konbinis really at home, and I would give anything for a konbini, even if it was a daily Yamazaki. Basically, that's what I was saying. Mini stop, or even if it was a mini stop, I will be a happy man, you know. Just got back from Japan yesterday. How are you feeling? How's the jet lag? What did you do? What was your favorite thing? What did you eat? Tell me everything. That's what I was thinking. Wait, there's a Dragon Quest Lawson? What? All the convenience stores seem depressing to me. I always feel sorry for the guest workers there. Why? They've got a job? Oh, thank you, Nick. Much appreciated. All of these like super chats, they really do help me get back to Japan. Yeah. to make more content to hopefully help you in the future. I was amazed at the choices and the care they put into simple things like cold foods and sandwiches. Really? Chuck, do you ever do an Airbnb type thing when you are in Tokyo, or do you always do hotels? I always do hotels, mainly because I'm a solo traveler, and I don't think, and from me doing a little bit of research, I've never really found an Airbnb to be cheaper than a hotel. That's the main reason. I think that if you're traveling with other people, or as a group, or as a family, then Airbnb might actually be a very good choice. Jet lag wasn't too bad. Left late and got back early. Was able to sleep on the plane. Borderless and Sensoji Table were probably Sensoji Table. What Sensoji Temple were probably at the top of my list. This trip, cool. Borderless, awesome. Awesome. I like Borderless. Sensoji is very busy these days. Awesome. Remember, guys, if you have any questions, at Ninja Monkey Guy, all right. Question to get my attention. These are so freaking good. Will they give me indigestion though tonight? What do you think? Hotels have a lot of added value too, so is there, if there aren't a saving, I can see why. Okay, yeah. Japanese Japan does a lot of Airbnb. Most of his accommodation is Airbnb. Is it okay to go into an izakaya for food only? I do not drink alcohol. Of course. You can order yourself some food without alcohol, no problem whatsoever. Tarian, I mentioned earlier that at the moment I don't have any plans to move in Japan. The circumstances aren't there. There's no reason for me to live in Japan right now. A lot of things would have to happen for me to even think or consider moving to Japan. You don't like Sensoji? The temple in Tsukiji. Interesting. I've never been to the temple in Tsukiji. I don't think. No, I haven't been to the temple in Tsukiji. That's right, Bojo Pigeon. A lot of the time there's a one drink requirement, but it doesn't have to be alcoholic. So, yeah, good to know. Don't worry about it. Also went to the Torii Gates in Kyoto later at night, which was pretty awesome. There was hardly any people there, and the view of the city was crazy at night. You know what, Jaybird? I tried to do it, but I chickened out because it was a little bit scary. And somebody had told me that there were wild boars for some reason. I just got that in my head. I was on my own also. I got about a quarter of the way up, and I aborted mission. Hey, see Rose, how are you doing? Tokyo Banana, welcome to all. My go-to convenience food is usually snacks like this. But I think maybe an egg sandwich is good. Yeah, Daniel and Yuka is running an Airbnb in just outside of Tokyo. In Tokyo. Yeah, guys, don't do pull-ups. What's your go-to all-you-can-drink eat spot in Tokyo? I don't really have one. Whenever it's all you can eat, all you can drink, it's as a result of somebody taking me there rather than me, choosing to go. Yeah, Jerome was very happy to be staying in your place. We did hear a boar in the distance near the top, and we took off as soon as we seen it. You see, it wasn't just me. Okay, I just think I had it in my head. I think I was just like, when like a little seed of paranoia goes into your head, and then it becomes a much bigger thing than what it is. Every step felt like a yeah, no. All you can eat and drink. Be all that you can be. You hiked, and people were using a bear bell. Yeah, I actually now have a bear bell in my bag, um, for when I'm traveling, on my own in areas where there might be bears. Generally, I've never had any problems with all you can drink locations, usually, to be honest. The only thing is that maybe I feel that the drinks are a little bit watered down. But generally, I don't think I've had any problems as such. I think that's very wise. There are some very bad bear attacks this year. Yeah, it's very scary. As you can tell, I'm scared of boars, so therefore I'm even more scared of bears. If you were to move to Japan one day, how could you besides a work visa, maybe getting married? Yeah, that's the thing. It would be very difficult to move to Japan. Really. Bear bells are just dinner bells for bears. Maybe boars. Don't say that. Daniel and Yuka, wait a minute. I think I've got the link. If you send me a message now, I'll post the link, because I'm not very sure if I have the link from the last time you sent it to me. Where is the link? Where's the link? Where's the link? Searching for the link. There it is. Copy. I'm posting it. I think that's right. I hope I've shared the right thing. Okay, that's Daniel and Yuka's place. The drinks are just watered down, weak, and the food cheap cuts of meat. You just need to drink more and faster. You just need to drink faster, I think, more than anything. Drink faster. It wasn't super late. Okay. It was pitch black when I went. Maybe you can sell bear bell shaped bear balls. That would be funny. Question: as a solo traveler, do you have a favorite chain restaurant? I'm thinking these would be easier for first time solo travelers. Yeah, I love Torikuzoku. Torikuzoku is an awesome chain restaurant. I actually put a video together about English friendly Japanese restaurant chains. If you haven't checked that out, check it out. It'll give you some good ideas of very, very easy locations. Daniel and Yuka, I've shared your link. It's here. Correct? Me if I'm wrong. Where do I go when I get sick in Tokyo? Are the tourist-friendly clinics in Tokyo? Absolutely. I think there's various things that you can do if you get sick. Number one, you could always go to a pharmacy and ask for advice. Number two, you can ask in your hotel for advice and they'll probably point you in the right direction. Or number three, and this is what I usually do, is go to a tourist office, and the tourist office will most definitely make sure that you are looked after or seen to, or go to an English speaking doctor. I had a really terrible stomach ache when I was in Japan, like a stomach problems for part of my trip in the summer. It actually like spoiled part of my trip, and I went I basically needed something to stop me from pooing my pants. And I went to the tourist office, and they actually took me to the pharmacy and they actually got me the medication that I needed. So yeah. No problem, dude. I hope people can visit and use your thing. One thing I experienced is that izakaya prices can change depending on who serves you. One night 6 drinks was 3,000 yen. Second night 2 drinks was 1,600. Any experience of this? No, I haven't had any experience of that. But there are times where there can be happy hour. Maybe one night there was happy hour or something like that, maybe. Pharmacies are really helpful, I agree. They usually have an English menu where you point out your problem and they sell you the medicine. Motion sickness pills there, it really saved the day. For sick, I think go to the local police box. Yep. I think that's also a very valid, very good piece of advice from Tawada. The police in Japan, they're different to police in the West. They're actually there to help you. What type of medicine do I get if I point to my crotch? I have no idea. Please do and let me know what you get. It depends if you're still in the Koban. Depends where you are. If you go to Kabukicho, then Kabuki, you might get something. The Japanese police are special tourist guides. They are. Are you in Dotonbori? I ain't in Dotonbori. I wish I was. You know that Nagoya video was from the summer? It took me this long to put it together. I didn't know how to put it together, to be honest. If you haven't checked out my Nagoya video, please check it out. I've got a few videos that I put out in the last few weeks that I don't think YouTube is really pushing out to a wider audience. I would really appreciate it if you did. I look almost identical to one of your relatives. Wow. I traveled to Japan for the first time ever on the 30th. Super excited. Thanks for all your tips. Great. Connor, awesome. Awesome. I was always curious about Nagoya. That was weird timing for your video, yes. I mean, I've got a few things that I filmed in the summer that I still haven't put together. At least 2 or 3 more projects that will probably come out. And it's going to be weird because I think that potentially the next video will be me wearing a jacket in the autumn, and then the one after that I might go back to the summer. Hey, I'm not Fat Mike. How are you doing? It was nice. I'm pretty sure that I met you, right? It was very nice to meet you randomly in Shibuya Halloween, and I really appreciate that you recognized me. And I'm very sorry that I wasn't able to spend a lot of time talking to you, but it's always awesome checking, you know. And out of all things, you know, you were there as a tourist also. So did you have a good trip? But yeah, not a question. Sad to be back in crappy Canada, but nice to have met you randomly and Shibuya Halloween. I agree. About the Nagoya video, the thumbnail is not good. It says boring and your face, not a video I want to watch. I think that's the whole point of the video. The whole point of the video is, first of all, Nagoya has the reputation of being the most boring city in the world. Not in the world, in Japan. Nagoya has a reputation of being a boring city, and the whole point is for people to click on it and get something different in a way, you know. Pose for the camera. And you could just take a screenshot, dude. Yeah, it should say Nagoya boring, maybe, but unfortunately that's not the way that YouTube works. The difference between putting Nagoya boring with a question mark and putting Nagoya is boring is the moment you make it a question, it becomes like a very targeted, very specific like video for a very specific type of audience. And if I put is Nagoya boring, then it will probably only reach the audience of people who specifically want to go to Nagoya. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to reach a broader audience, an audience of anybody, even people who might not be interested in going to Nagoya. You know, by putting Nagoya is boring, it should, in theory, capture the attention of even people that would not even consider going to Nagoya because they're just interested in the negative title, if that makes any sense. So you got to be a little bit, when it comes to the title, don't forget the thumbnail is one thing, the title says something a little bit different, but the idea is to entice the viewer to click on the video. And depending on how you put the thumbnail depends on who your audience is going to be. Do I want just this amount of people, the people who are planning specifically to go to Nagoya to watch the video, or do I want to put out a thumbnail that potentially could reach a far greater audience? That is what I was trying to do there. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. Shibuya on Halloween was crazy. I'm not very sure how I feel about going next year, but we'll see. Traveling to Japan in March for 3 weeks. Which other city do you recommend visiting? Currently going to Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto, Kanazawa, Hiroshima. Yeah, I mean, you know what I would do? Jamie. Yeah. What I would do is I would watch my 2-week itinerary, and model my 2-week itinerary and stretch it out into 3. If that makes any sense. the dark magic of YouTube algorithm. It doesn't mean that it's going to work. It's my theory. It's my theory, but it doesn't mean anything. I'm here pretending that I know what I'm doing, but I don't know a single thing of what I'm doing when it comes to YouTube. But yeah, people usually see the thumbnail and then they read the title, and then if it matches their expectations, they'll click on it. But first they need to look at the thumbnail. Actually, I can tell you the thumbnail is okay, because the click-through rate, basically the percentage that people click on the thumbnail compared to how many times it's shown to them, is a little bit higher than my average for other thumbnails. So the thumbnail is working. Use hidden shadows. Indeed. Yeah, there are loads of towns outside. Kamakura, Enoshima, Kawagoe. Indeed. Good tips there. Indeed. Some very good tips. Boy oh boy, what's the time? What? It's been a nearly 2-hour stream. I wanna reach a 2-hour stream. I haven't done a 2-hour stream in a while. Nagoya is. I have not gone to the Nintendo Museum yet, because it opened after I was in that area, and I know that I'll be returning to that area, you know, multiple times in the next few months probably. So I'm not in any rush. To be honest, I am hoping to couple it up with the new Donkey Kong expansion in Universal Studios. Christmas lights in Tokyo in 25 days. You know that they were already putting Christmas lights up in in Shinjuku. Basically, before I left, it was crazy. The airport already had a Christmas tree. I couldn't believe it. Madness. Guys, 5 more minutes and I'll start ending the stream. So any questions? Any questions on how to get to Fuji-Q Highland? My wife and I are going to Tokyo in March, and the only way to get there seems to be a shuttle that only gives you 5 hours to be in the park. You can also get a train. I'm pretty sure that the train that goes to Kawaguchiko stops there, and that train then returns quite late at night. I haven't been to that theme park, believe it or not. Let's see. Ancient pond, frog leaps in the sound of the water. Roppongi has Christmas illuminations now also. It's crazy. Wow. And come to Japan December 27. December for 27 days. What outside of the Golden Triangle is a must-see? Kanazawa, Hiroshima, what I mentioned before. Um, 27 days. Really, 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 Michelle Blake. I recommend, and I'm gonna post it for you if I can find it. I have a 2-week itinerary which you can model. You can model your trip around, extend it. There you go. So that's a 2 weeks in Japan. Japan, but crazy. What other activities and things you like to do in Japan? I'm a people watcher kind of person. I like having coffee, exploring new areas, and meeting up with friends, and obviously creating content. You took a taxi to Fuji-Q Highland? Seriously? What? Wow. Dorashima. My friend asked if Airbnb is better than staying at a business hotel. What's your preference and why? I stay in hotels, I think, mainly because I'm a solo traveler. I think that Airbnbs will really work well in groups, families. If you like castles, I love castles, and I would 100% say yes. Skytree also put up their lights and has a Christmas market already right now. Crazy. What? Wow. Bus early morning from Shinjuku is how a lot of tourists get there. Okay, guys. Last minute before I end the stream. Any last minute questions? Let me know. I love Enoshima too. I love Enoshima a lot, actually. Taxi was from the station near the pagoda. Where you say, oh, okay. So you got a taxi from Kawaguchiko to the. I thought you got a taxi from Tokyo. I was like, what? That's crazy. Towada, I will be returning to Japan over the New Year's period. I'll be sticking to Tokyo probably mostly. I hope to maybe do either a day trip to an onsen or an overnight stay to an onsen. I wasn't able to do it this time round. How long has this stream been going on for? Right, everyone. I think it's time for me. Yeah, that would be crazy. I think a taxi from Tokyo to Fuji-Q. That's what I thought initially. Right. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. If you're watching this on a replay, don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel. Much appreciate it. And as always, good night, good morning, good evening. Stay positive and be a happy gaijin. But I'm just going to answer one question. Most overrated place to visit: the Benraku Banrai place in the Toyosu market, next to the Toyosu market. That was super overrated. Anyway, on that note, stay positive and be happy gaijin, everyone. Good night.